Hi, my name is Itoro, and I'm here previewing the Sweet 16 matchups. Thursday night features the South Regional semifinals in Louisville and the West Regional semifinals in Anaheim, California. Let's start with the South Regional. The second seed Villanova Wildcats will play against the Miami Hurricanes. That game tips off at 7:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Villanova's guards will have a tough time guarding Miami's Angel Rodriguez and Sheldon McClellan. The only way I see the Wildcats winning is if they control tempo and win the battle on the offensive glass. I picked Miami to win this game 82-76. They should control this game throughout. In the second semifinal, the top-seeded Kansas Jayhawks will play against the Maryland Terrapins. The Terps are coming into this game as 7-point underdogs. Both teams possess excellent guard play, however Kansas will win because they are more dominant inside. The key player to watch here is Perry Ellis. I believe he'll have a great game in the paint, and Kansas will win this game going away in the second half, 75-65. In the West Regional, Oklahoma will face off against Texas A&M. These two teams were in the Big 12 Conference until A&M bolted for greener pastures in the SEC. A&M performed consistently well during the regular season, however the Sooners will derail their dreams. National Player of the Year candidate Buddy Hield is averaging 25 points per game, but also Isaiah Cousins will be too much for the Aggies. I like OU big. I like OU convincingly. 87-68. In the marquee Sweet 16 game of the evening, the top-seeded Oregon Ducks will face off against the Duke Blue Devils. While doing research, the previous two occasions Duke has played Sweet 16 games in Anaheim, they've been disposed of by Arizona in 2011, with Kyrie Irving on the squad, and Kansas in 2013. However, history should not repeat itself. Grayson Allen is a baller for the Blue Devils. He scored 29 points Saturday afternoon as he led Duke to victory against Yale. Dylan Brooks led the Ducks with a game-high 25 points on 7 for 13 shooting on Sunday. He has posted 20 points in 11 games this season. However, I don't believe Oregon is prepared for this spot. Grayson single-handedly led Duke to the national title last season, and I think he'll come up with another inspirational performance Thursday night. I like Duke to win 81-78. Now we move on to Friday's games. These Sweet 16 games will be played at the United Center in Chicago and the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. Virginia will play against Iowa State, and Gonzaga will face off against Syracuse. First, if the Cavaliers have their way, the Cyclones of Iowa State will be frustrated at the pace of play because Virginia likes to grind out games at a snail's pace. The Cavs like to play sound defense and take the best shot possible. However, Iowa State likes to get out and run, turn the game into a track meet with George Niang dominating inside. However, I believe defense travels. Give me Virginia by 5, 67-62. Next, the Bulldogs of Gonzaga will face off against the Syracuse Orange. This much is clear. Syracuse got into the tournament because they beat quality teams at the Atlantis tournament in December. With that said, I do not believe the Orange are all that great. With that said, I don't believe the Orange are all that great. This is the Zags' best chance to make a run to their first Final Four in team history, and head coach Mark Few will let his players know. They will not waste that opportunity. I like Gonzaga 81-66. Finally, in the East Regional, these games will be played in Philadelphia. First, the 6th-seeded Notre Dame Fighting Irish will face off against the 7th-seeded Wisconsin Badgers. Followed by, in the second game, North Carolina, the top seed, North Carolina Tar Heels, will play against the Indiana Hoosiers. In the first game, the Fighting Irish play with a lot of heart, guile, and passion. That was evident in their second round game against Stephen F. Austin, Wisconsin is a well-coached team that does not make very many mistakes. This could be the best game of the Sweet 16. This game could also be decided in overtime. Wisconsin likes to execute very, very well, and Notre Dame has the belief that they can pull out any game at any time. I like Wisconsin due to their experience and execution, 75-74. Finally, the North Carolina Tar Heels will face off against the Indiana Hoosiers. The Tar Heels are peaking at the perfect time. They're playing their best basketball of the season, led by Marcus Page and Bryce Johnson, both of whom are playing the best ball in their careers. Yogi Ferrell must have the game of his life if Indiana should beat the Tar Heels. Indiana also must make their outside shots because UNC does have the size advantage in the painted area. For my historians, this is the first time Indiana and North Carolina have faced off in March Madness since Michael Jordan's last game, his final collegiate game, March 22nd, 1984 in Atlanta, Georgia. However, if UNC controls the glass and plays sound defense, they should easily defeat Indiana 76-68, pulling away in the second half. So my predictions for the Elite Eight are North Carolina versus Wisconsin, Virginia versus Gonzaga, Oklahoma versus Duke, and Miami versus Kansas. Fans, let us know your predictions. Subscribe to Fans Favorite Fan. Follow us on all social media at Fans Favorite Fan, and get your comments in below. And let us know what you think.